Hello everyone, welcome back to another Tomato Sauce stream. Today, just be a chill one. This just be a chill stream. You know, we're just going to talk about the stuff that we think is going to be coming up in the next box. Fingers crossed, comes out sooner rather than later. So there is already some like sort of information we can infer. We do have like different things obviously pointing at certain cards going to be in the box. We do, for example, have leaks. We do have things that have been announced. We do have an idea of when the current event is going to end, which should be on the 5th, which means the next event will start on the 5th, which you would assume is going to be the Asana event unlock. And then probably 2 days after that is when we should get the box drop. And again, we have the ban list changes and the skill buffs that also kind of point towards specific things we could be getting. So we're going to be looking at all of that stuff. And we're going to be trying to predict what we think is going to be in the box, because there's not a ton of spaces in a mini box, right? Realistically, you get 4 URs, like 10 SRs, and that's like all the good cards. Let's face it, most of the time the NRs are nothing to really write home about. They're generally pack filler. Maybe it's just something that a deck needs just to fill in the gaps, right? But all of this real spicy stuff, all the really strong cards, you would expect to be this high rarity. So we'll have to predict what we think we can actually fit into this, because there are a lot of Sky Savior cards and a lot of Worm cards. And I don't think the box is just going to be those two. So we'll have to see what we actually think is going to be in there. But before we get into all that, let's see who we have in the chat. We have Lava Golem. Hello, hello, Lava Golem. I both love you and hate you. I wish you weren't called Lava Golem, but welcome, welcome. We have Whistling Bird with the first or second. We have Victor. Hello, hello, Victor. Looks around for puppy, realizes he's not here for the rest of the summer. Oh, no. That's a shame. I assume the puppy is like a family dog, then, if you don't have it currently. It's our favorite tomato. It's him. Why is there no tomato battle last Friday? So basically, we have run into a weird situation with our team where suddenly we have a lot of people that are available to play. And I will always say every single time, I am more than happy to sit out. I am more than happy to sit out and let the other teammates play. I wasn't super enjoying this format anyway, but even if I was really enjoying the format, I would still always volunteer to sit out, because at the end of the day, I'm not going anywhere, right? I'm always going to play Rush. I don't plan to quit anytime soon. Therefore, there will always be more opportunities to play. So, like, it makes no difference to me whether I get to play or not. If it's, like, a very exceptional meta that I really, really enjoy, maybe I'd be, like, more inclined to do it. But for the most part, like, I don't mind skipping out, so. Selection box soon, maybe. No, that's not a hype thing, Ursus. That means all of my gems go away, and I don't like that. I really don't like selection boxes. I like selection boxes in that we get more cards. But that is where selection boxes begin and end for me as being really hype. I like the fact that we get a product, and then we get another product at the exact same time. That's good, but we get a regular product, which already is a bigger product, right? It's not like it's going to be a deck build. This is going to be a proper mini box, which means a lot of gems invested into that already. Then if you slap on top of that a selection, which is like a soul-crushing amount of gems to finish, it's like ridiculous. I would say most people probably can't do the entire mini box and selection box in one go. You would have to have so many gems saved up in your mailbox to do that all in one go, which is a bit ridiculous. So I don't really like selection boxes. I get they're better than speed, and that's the argument you always see people say, oh, but it's better than the speed ones. It's like, well, yeah, like, if I step in rabbit shit, that's better than stepping in dog shit. That doesn't mean I still want to step in shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's a really weird argument to make, in my opinion. It's a friend's puppet. I've been looking after him. Oh, well. Worms everywhere. I mean, worms are cool. I really like the worms. I am a little bit concerned that worms might end up being a little bit too good, depending on what they get. And what I mean by that is, we already are in a meta that a lot of people don't really enjoy, because decks are able to OTK very, very easily. So right now, again, pre-changes, I guess, Dark Galaxy and Gradius can 100 to nothing you. So they can just 6,000 life points through pretty much any board quite easily, unless you have very specific outs, or if you have like outs that specifically deal with the cards that are in their hand. Obviously, Star Protector's Protection is kind of a catch-all. It kind of saves you against most decks at the moment anyway. But for the most part, that's the bit of the meta people don't like. It feels like you just need to open the right trap or you die. And sometimes that's not the case. Obviously, not every game is going to work out like that. People don't always have a really good hand. But that's how it can feel, right? It's just like, if you don't open your trap, you pray your opponent has bricked. And Worms are a deck, I think, that can potentially do a crap ton of damage in a single turn, which I think a lot of people aren't going to like. I think aesthetically they're going to be really fun. I think the gameplay loop they have is really fun. But I think if they turn into a deck that just draws the good hand, wipes your opponent's board, attacks you directly for 6k on turn 2, that's not going to be very fun. So we'll have to wait and see how it actually shakes out. But I am a bit wary, let's put it that way. Tomato versus E-Tomato would have been so crazy there. Now, we already said, if me and E-Tomato played, I would just absolutely destroy them. I am the superior Tomato, even though they have a gold icon, right? And I don't have a gold icon, because I don't play in the KC Cups. I would still absolutely destroy them with nothing but aura alone, okay? Oh my god, is that Lord British? Hello, a human Portuguese dub fan. Welcome, welcome on in. 18k gems, you see. Well, that's all well and good, but when do they start expiring? Becomes the next question. And also, 18k is not enough to fully clear a mini box and a selection. That's not actually even close to being able to finish it. Because what? A mini box to do 3 full runs is what, like 12k? Or like 13k? And a selection is more than that. So you're looking at more like having 30k to actually be able to clear all of it, which is a bit ridiculous, right? Share some with me. Yeah, I'm also getting close to 99999 with my gems, not counting my safety character bank. There you go then. I mean, the safety character bank, you still have to, like, open it, right? It's not like you don't... You have that ready to go, right? You still have to have ground all of those characters up to almost leveling up. And even then, each one's only going to give you, like, 200. So for every 5, you get 1,000. Which is still, like, not great unless you've got, like, 20 characters saved up, right? But if you have, then that's obviously fantastic. Hello, Corey. Welcome, welcome. Queen Rovian in 2027, only at this rate. I mean, potentially. Not enough Keck weight. I've been guessing. I put a guessing thing about an actor in Discord to see if someone knows who it is. I have no idea what we're talking about. They start to expire mid-July. Okay, well, mine start to expire in 2 days. Now, I don't think the box is coming out in the next 2 days, so I have to start using mine on something. 30k? Bruh, I don't have 10k yet. Again, but that's the thing. If you don't care about the selection box, you don't need that. Because the thing with the selections are, we keep getting the selection-only cards quicker and quicker in Rush. So we might not need to care about it. It depends how good the selection box cards are, right? Because there have been a couple of selections in the past that haven't really been that important. Gunkin Suship Shari is in the chat. Hello, hello, Gunkin Suship Shari. Rushbox or Speedbox? We shouldn't be getting a Speedbox for a little while yet.
Shari just subscribed with pride.
Yeah, we are primarily a Rush-focused channel here, Rufus, but welcome on in. Speed is actually a bit of a nightmare to try and predict. Because we've just literally had a new product. So we don't really have leaks to, like, point us in a direction. All you can really do is say, like, what was coming out around this time in, like, TCG, which is really hard to actually predict, because we've already got Sprite, we've got the adventure stuff. Like, what's next? Like, I feel like we're getting dangerously close to Tyr. I feel like we're getting dangerously close to, Kashtira. Like, the rest of, like, the good Odeon cards, which I don't think we have yet. The rest of the Ishizu cards. Like, we're getting to that sort of stage, which is so crazy. It's just so crazy. 7.5k for deck builds. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 13.5 for a mini. There you go. Corey has most of the numbers, it looks like. I put actor from his teenage year to support... I've just lost that message completely. Does someone recognize him? Neat. Okay, F. I can smell the rebel support in the selection. I don't know if they would bother doing that. Ah! That hype train noise always gets me. I don't know if they would bother chucking Rebel support in a selection. I'm not sure. I feel like they'd rather put generic stuff in a selection, because then more people are going to go into it. So just like power staples, I think would make more sense. Speedbox end of the year will be Archfiends and Blackfiends. When you say end of year, though, because we are currently about to go into July, which is definitely not near the end of the year. Unless you mean, like, the end of... years in just before Worlds? I don't Speed, we're gonna get Cash Tira next. But what level of Cash Tira can they give us? Because we can't get all the zone lock stuff, surely. Like, we've already had that debacle with Branded. Surely they don't give us the zone locks. Surely. I have 200 that expire on the 5th, but well, my rest to go to the 7th, which is usually when the box comes out. Yeah, I would expect the 7th to be the date the box comes out. So we'll have to wait and see. I hope it comes out on the 7th. Obviously, ideally, I want it to be out a little bit earlier, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see. So true, month, but year. What's the next Branded slop lore deck? The issue is I don't follow the lore of the whole, like, Branded lore stuff, so I couldn't actually tell you. I don't know if, like, Cash Tira is in that, like, lore package or not. I am so far behind in gems that it isn't funny. I have, like, 3.5k gems. Hospital for over a week, and this week after home, tormenting headaches. But that's why you just keep playing on the phone while you're in hospital. That's the trick. Never stop. Never stop the grind. But yeah, I hope you're feeling better now, Corey. It'd be like that. It's crazy we getting close to Cash Tier, Snake Eyes, etc., and not even have Goatee or Plunder Patrol. Yeah, I mean, they could just throw those into the next box, right? Actually, speaking of hospital, I'll give you a quick health update, because you might notice the quality looks a bit bad again, because the spotlight's on still. So I am still in the process of working out what's going on with my migraines. And part of that process was I had to go get an eye test. So I went to the optician, that's the one. I went to the optician and got my eyes tested, and they basically said my eyes are in peak condition. They are perfectly fine, they are very healthy. And I was like, okay, excellent, that's good. That's one more thing crossed off. And so I was like, well, while I'm there, I'll, have a regular eye test as well. So I did that, and my vision has deteriorated slightly, that's normal, right? If anyone has glasses, that's extremely normal. So what I did what you do. You go and pick out some glasses, and I went through, and they had to make sure they were going to work, and they did this dot test, and they had to make sure that the thickness of the lens was going to be at the right place, because depending on where your eyes sit versus the lenses that you get in the frame, it can work out because basically the lens. Part of the lens that goes over your eye needs to be the thickest, because that's where the prescription needs to be most accurate, right? So basically, I spent ages picking out a frame, and they were like, yep, this is all good, And then we got right to the end of the process, and they were like, actually, these frames won't work, because the lenses that I need are going to be a bit thicker, and they won't fit in the frame properly. They'll be kind of top heavy. So they were like, okay. So we went through this whole process. So then I went and got a different pair, and they were like, okay, these ones are fine, these are all good. Move on with your life, right? So I left. And I had an appointment. I have the appointment to go back. I have my little appointment card here with Specsavers. And I'm supposed to be going back tomorrow to pick them up. And then I got a message a couple of days ago, basically saying that they've lost my frames. Somehow. I don't know what that means. But basically, I have to go and do that whole process again. So I was going to be getting new glasses tomorrow and have the correct prescription. And now I'm not. Now I'm going to restart that process. I'll probably have new glasses in a couple of weeks, which is a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. It is what it is. But other than that, we're still waiting to get results back for some other tests. But that's my health update. There we go. There is the health update with Tomato. Let's try and catch up with chat. To clarify, Archfiend and Blackwings is because it's Cullen's OG deck and Crow's deck. I see. Bestials. Do we want... I don't know. Bestials is a weird one. I don't know if I want Bestials. I kind of want as few hand trappy things as possible. Just because Duel Links feels like it's the last bastion of traps and quick play spells actually being good. And I don't want that to change. Hi, Cucumber Throws. Hello, Shardy. Welcome. There's 2 or 3 left. It was the cutoff date announced already for the sets legal for World. I don't know if it has been announced yet. I do not know. And also, missing in decks. I can eat again, and it stays in, but actually good. Well, you've got to look at the bright side, right? At least there's a step in the right direction. We use the same company for eyeglasses. I mean, that's not too surprising. In the UK, it's basically Specsavers or nothing. That's fundamentally how we do it over it. Yeah, that was my little update. I guess we'll hop in and start talking about some of these bits and bobs. So, first things first, we have a scheduled maintenance. And this is in 16 hours, right? So, That, I don't know if this is going to be a core update, but I would imagine this is going to be the last proper maintenance before the box comes out, which means we might get a bunch of leaks. But I don't, again, I'm not a data miner. I don't keep track of like when we get core updates, when we don't. Oftentimes for rush boxes, we just kind of get the cards put into the file like as they come out. So maintenance on Wednesday? Exactly, it's weird. It is weird. It'll be Wednesday morning for us, or for me as well. Ready for the domination of worms. I mean, hopefully I'll be the one dominating with worms. So kind of, yeah. I am actually quite looking forward to that. When does Asaka come out? Asaka should be coming out. Her event should start on the 5th, I believe. So if we check over here, we can see that we have this, and this was early July. So assuming early July means early July, the current event that we have, if we jump over here quick, the current event ends on the 5th. Yeah, up here. So assuming everything is working as we assume it's going to, on the 5th, one event ends, the next event begins, and then we should get to unlock her 2 or 3 days after that. So the 5th, for me, is a Sunday. So potentially it could be the Tuesday or the Wednesday or the Thursday. I would imagine somewhere between the 7th and the 9th will be when we get it. I would expect Tuesday, but you never know. Sometimes it gets a bit weird. It won't be for the box because it would have to be when Asaka launch. The 5th will have a maintenance too. It just seems weird to do 2 maintenances in the span of a week. Like, that just seems like a waste of time. I don't know. Saying we're going to have a maintenance on Sunday. I mean, we don't know. I mean, the event will be on the Sunday. Yeah, so I don't know if we'll have a maintenance for that or if this is going to be the maintenance ahead of time for it. Again, I don't... For me, it's more like the characters, the cards are the interesting bit. Like, the actual, like, what's going on behind the scenes, like the updates, maintenance, and all that stuff is just not particularly interesting. Always been in maintenance when an event launches. I mean, yeah... I don't know if that's 100% accurate for, like, the entire, like, 10 years that Duel Links has been out, but I'm going to take your word for it. But it does mean that we sort of have a ballpark for when this new box is going to come out, right? We have an idea of what's going to be in it. Before we jump into that, I will quickly jump over to the OCG stuff, because I think otherwise the OCG stuff is just going to be looming. So we'll talk about the OCG stuff quick. So we have Gagaga Cheer Girl, who is coming out. Now, I know a lot of you guys are probably quite excited to see Gagaga Cheer Girl. This is a reference to one of the episodes I've actually seen. This was the football, or for our American friends, the soccer episode of Zexal, when Yuma has to play against the football guy. And for whatever reason, because of the field spell, Cheer Girl was, or Gagaga Girl was put into a Cheer Girl outfit. Baseball! Exactly. So Gagaga Cheer Girl. Level 4 Fire Warrior Effect Monster. Send 2 face-up level 4 fire monsters on your field to the graveyard, which could include itself. Then you can special summon a fire monster from your graveyard face-up. If you special summoned, you can choose 1 face-up monster on your opponent's field and have it lose 1,000 attack until the end of this turn. You cannot activate the effect of Gagaga Cheer Girl for the rest of this turn. So this is really good. Effectively, this is like tribute summoning from the graveyard, which is really, really, really good. Thank you for the Prime, Corey. Appreciate it as always. Let's see if there's going to be a TTS.
Kornoakuma 666 just subscribed with Prime. I just hope we get a few of the more hype characters for Go Rush in the not too far future. Smiley face emoji. Also OCG currently is really hype.
I mean, for me, I actually think that Asaka, or Asana, I completely forget the name, Asaka, that one, is a really hype Go Rush character. I think, especially comparing it to Imi, I think it is one of the cooler ones. For me, I actually think, like, one of the least hype is Rovian. I just don't care. I just don't care about Rovian. Like, Rovian is boring. Everyone that likes Rovian in chat, I'm sorry, your taste is mid. Her deck is boring. She, as a character, is boring. Her design is boring. Like, there's just nothing interesting or remotely good about Rovian. Like, the one good thing she's got is she brought Yuna. And Yuna... a lot of people don't like Yuna, but you can't argue she's got a character, and her deck is awesome. Like, her deck is so sick. So, like, I don't know. I think Rovian is going to be such a flop. Like, she's going to need such a good skill, and she's going to need all of her future support to be remotely playable. Her theme is cool. I don't like her theme. Her theme is lame. Rovian hater. She's just boring. She's just boring. Her cards suck. What can I say? Hello, Ninjago. Welcome, welcome. Rovian should have introduced equipped. I agree with that as well, Cappy. I think you are absolutely right. I think we should have had a big, like, hullabaloo for introducing equips and giving equips to Rovian, and that being her thing for a bit. I hate Yuna, and I hate her deck. Well, then you, again, have terrible taste. What can I say? Yuna is one of the most interesting characters in all of the Rush series. You might not like her, but she is one of the more interesting characters. And her deck is probably one of the most fun decks ever brought out into the game. Like, it's so good. It's so good. Is that Gaga Girl for Zexal? Yes, this is Gaga Girl. Except now it's Gaga Cheer Girl. Her theme is cool. Your theme is lame. Now you're wrong. Who is Yuna? Yuna is the girl from Go Rush that is madly in love with Yuga, and basically starts off by just using Yuga's deck with, like, equip spells in it, and then uses Celebros. And Celebros is such a good deck. It's such a good deck. What the hell that did to the card? What do you mean? This is the outfit she wore when she was playing against the soccer guy in Zexal. Yuna, Neanderstar, Phaser, Epoch, and now that her deck is printed, even Dinoir could be hype for me. Yuga, not Yugo. I don't know. Dinoir's deck is so... It's a tricky thing to balance, right? Because on one hand, we now have Forbidden Requiem in the game. And Forbidden Requiem is kind of crazy. So, saying, like, Dinoir's deck is also insanely strong, I don't think it could come to the game. I don't think that means anything anymore, because we already have Forbidden Requiem. And that's a modern card that is seeing tournament play right now. So, like, by that logic, we could just get Dinoir. We could just get her. It could just happen. I hate Celebros, especially the first duel. I mean, as someone who's played with the cards, like, competitively and, like, with and against them, I think it's a fantastic deck. I agree with Phaser and Epoch. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do with those characters, right? In terms of... When you think about it, Epoch most likely is going to come out after Phaser. And Phaser is probably not coming out until we've gotten at least Rovian and the Lug, right? Now, they could just skip them. They could do whatever they want, right? At the end of the day, Konami has all this power. They can do whatever the heck they want. But it just feels weird to skip over such important characters. Like, I don't like Rovian, but she is an important character for that season of Go Rush, right? So I feel like you need her in, and she's got enough cards that it would be a big event when she drops in the game. And the exact same thing with the Lug. Lug is a fan favorite. He's a really important antagonist, even if he's not really a villain. He's more of an antagonist, right? And his deck is beloved. Like, people love his deck, people love him. You don't skip the Lug, right? But at the same time, when the heck are we getting to Phaser? Like, at this point, it's like we already have so many super powerful cards. And we've already reached a stage where we know we're going to be getting Yuga Goha at some point. We've already looked through all of Yuga Goha's cards, and we know that his deck is garbage, right? Compared to what we currently have in Duel Links, compare it to Gradius, compare it to Dark Galaxy, compare it to Heroes. Yuga Goha's reptiles are straight garbage. Like, they are not going to do anything. They're going to need a skill so broken that it makes it somewhat playable, right? No one has said Yugo. Ninjago Zane. No one is saying Yugo. People are only saying Yuga with an A. Yuga. Dinoir. Still horrible English. I mean, that's just how you pronounce it. It's written differently, but it's basically spelled exactly the same. Or pronounced exactly the same. When the next rush box, I need gem. So it's probably going to be on the 7th. Probably on the 7th. Yuga Goha's skill. Send the entire deck to the graveyard and your monster gain piercing. Well, that's the thing. It needs something ridiculous. Otherwise, that deck's dead on arrival, right? Rush character name is so confusing. I mean, you're not wrong, but, like, also, that's just Yu-Gi-Oh! In general, right? Like, in Arc 5, you've got, what, Yuya, Euro... No, not Euro. That's a different one. Yuya... God, I'm trying to think of all their names now. What are all of the... There's Yugo, which is the Synchro guy. What was the... Yuri was the fusion guy. What was the Phantom Knight guy called? What was his name? Yuto. That's the one. That's the one I always forget. Yuto. So, like, this wasn't... Like, this isn't a unique thing to the Rush Duel shows. This is just Yu-Gi-Oh! In general, right? Gongen Zaka is the best character from Arc 5. You can't prove me wrong. Gongen Zaka is amazing. Or if you've watched the English, Gong Strong. But Gongen Zaka is so good, man. I love him so much. We need King's Arc. I could take or leave King's Arc, personally. I don't think I would play it, to be honest. Forget Yuga, we want Yuna. I mean, I want both. It's a tricky situation to be in, right? Because... effectively, any cards in... or any deck, I suppose I should rephrase. Any deck can be a meta deck. It just depends on the cards they get, the skill they get, and when it comes out. Now, the problem we have is, that last one, when it comes out, is now getting increasingly difficult. Because we already have super crazy powerful cards in the game. Which now means any cards that come out that are just not at that level are going to feel extremely underwhelming. So, if we had gotten Yuga Goha, like, a year ago, and he had an okay skill, he probably would have been, like, relatively competitive. But we're just way past that stage now. Like, it's just irrelevant. So it's just like, I don't know, man. I think the power creep really started last year Worlds, when, for the World Championship qualifier, they dropped the Galaxy box that had the Galaxy Fusion, Dark Galaxy Fusion, and then the Sevens Road support. I think that was like the first, like, Jesus Christ, we've jumped up. Because we've had power creep with, like, every product. Like, some products have been a bit hit or miss, but there's been power creep. But for that one, it was like, right, we've usually been doing, like, step by step, and it's like, that box came out, it was like, poof, everything before that is now unplayable. It was, like, absolutely insane. And we've sort of had that with the latest box. Like, the new Dark Galaxy stuff we got is kind of crazy. Star Protector's Protection is kind of crazy, right? Who is the first character name that you say? It depends. I've said a lot of character names. The fusion equivalent to Yuya. Yuri. Yeah, there we go, Yuri. I hate that character. I don't mind Yuri. Yuri's like a bit weird, but he's in some of the best duels, so I actually do quite like him. Yuzu if you squint at it. No! But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about saving some of like the weaker characters, because it's like eventually let's hop over here. We'll get something on screen that's sort of relevant to talk about. Eventually, we're gonna have to get the darkness cards that Otis uses. So, where's a good example of one of them? This guy. Magician of Dark Sevens is not actually the best. No, Magician of Dark Sevens is fine. Eventually, we're gonna have to get this guy, for example. Now, this guy is fine. There's nothing like inherently wrong with this card. Continuous effect. This card gains attack equal to the number of dark attribute spellcaster monsters in your graveyard times 300. Okay, so it can get kind of big. It's continuous effect, so it will stay big. You take no battle damage from battles involving your other monsters. Okay, so it has like a little bit of protection. And then it's made using a 7th Robe Magician and Darkness Zero Robe. So this is where it starts to get a bit weird. Because 7th Robe Magician is a double tribute monster. And Darkness Zero Rogue is a double tribute monster. So if you want to summon this, what you were supposed to do, obviously now we have things like 7's Wonder Fusion, so we can circumvent this. But the way you were supposed to play this is you hard tribute summon 2 monsters, then you just fuse them together, and you get something that, let's face it, is worse than Shining Flare Wingman. I don't know. We've already reached that stage where any of the 7's support that we haven't got already feels outclassed and out of date. So a good example of this will be like the sushi stuff. We don't have any of the sushi fairies yet. Like, is anyone looking forward to playing a Garabelle, the finest sushi fairy? This card's garbage. It's a 2 tribute, 2500 monster that you can send a fairy from your hand to the graveyard to make 1 monster on your field gain 1000 attack. This is just straight up a worse version of Pool Glaze Spiss. Like, straight up. Like, why would you play this? There's no reason to. You would have to have such a busted skill to make any of these cards remotely playable. It looks fine. If you genuinely think this card looks like it's a playable Yu-Gi-Oh card, I'm sorry. We are so past the point of this being remotely playable, like in a competitive setting. Probably with a decent skill years ago. Exactly. I'm looking forward to beating the crap out of the sushi deck, because I hate sushi. Not anymore. Damn you, Tomato. I love Sushiko. The thing is, I don't hate Sushiko as a character. I don't even hate these cards, like on paper. The problem is, they needed to come out like 2 years ago. Then they would have been playable. Then they would have seen tournament tops, right? Without seeing them at the correct time, it feels like they're already so just dead before they're even out. It's the finest Yu-Gi-Oh card, real. And then we have Dragon Roll, who was actually limited to limit 1 for a long ass time because you could do some loopy bullshit with it. So that's probably what this like deck, if we could even call this a deck, is most known for. Is that this guy was limit 1 for like a year and a half or 2 years or something. You just have to imagine the skill for them. But what kind of skill would you give this? First off, they need a discount. Like straight up, I don't think this deck functions without discounting the bosses. So already we have to do that. Then, I don't know. We don't have a way to beat set 3. So maybe we give them like piercing or changing a battle position or something. Because like we don't have like the swarm potential that something like Aqua has, right? We don't have a way to make like just one giant guy like Pyro has, right? I still code for Blaze Fiends, but now they start coming out when we get rituals or something like this, and even then, without a top skill, they won't do much. Yeah, I mean, maximums are all kind of in the same boat, where the big weakness that maximum decks have always had in OCG is they're not very good at ending the game in one hit. So the ones that are good at that, obviously, Magnum Overlord, you know, the machine Magnum Overlord, is very specifically a one-shot OTK maximum, right? Other than that, it's basically just the OTS one. So if we get up the OTS, this is the only other maximum that's like potentially pretty good at like killing your opponent in one turn. Like, I don't know. Most of them are just bad. We're at a stage of the game where if your deck isn't one-shotting your opponent, then you best be playing like 100 trap cards to control the pace of the game. Otherwise, you're just not competitive. That's the thing. Play 100 trap cards to be a slow deck, or have the ability to kill your opponent on turn 2. Those are like what makes a competitive deck right now in Duel Links. Come back when Xyz is introduced, then mix it with Suship. Trust. Make it 10 million trap cards. I think at that point, I think maybe you'll start bricking. Because if you draw nothing but trap cards, it's not going to be particularly good. I think 10 million is like a little bit over the top. But I like the energy. Let's go back and finish looking at these OCG cards since they're still just kind of looming. So here we just got some reprints and we got an Overrush for this, which means this Overrush could come to Duel Links pretty much any time, which would be cool. If we do get any of the baseball support, I would be quite happy for that. So then we have What Lies at Journey's End at the Star Sanctuary. So we have Star Replete of the Star Sanctuary, level 8. Mage using Star Replete in any normal monster. 2800 attack, 2800 defense. During the main phase, this card was special summoned. Shuffle 2 monsters from your graveyard into the deck. Okay, that's fine. Choose up to 2 spell traps on your opponent's field and destroy them. That's very good. Then this card gets piercing. This is just good. What is Star Replete? I don't remember what that card is off the top of my head. I don't know if we've seen that already. I'll look over here, but I don't think it's probably going to be on here. I mean, we have Star Replacer. That's not Star Replete. Let me open this then. Star Replete. Apparently that's not anywhere. Is Star Replete, is the name wrong? Or am I stupid? We'll see if we can find it anywhere else. I'm just going to scroll down quickly, just make sure there's not a card down here called Star Replete. Where is Star Replete? How is it not on anything yet? Oh, because it's not on pre-releases, that's why. Oh, okay, it's the level 5. So if I do this, can I show this? Can I show this easily? I don't know if I can. What if I do this? Oh. What have I done with that window? It doesn't really matter. It's a level 5 normal monster with 20/100 attack. That's all it is. Nothing particularly exciting. Utopia Rush Duel card. Card Rush sickened me. I don't dislike it. Because at the end of the day, in my mind... Yuma, to me, has always kind of been a joke character. So I don't mind that we're making a joke out of his deck. But that might be a controversial take, because I didn't grow up with Zexal. I know a lot of people did grow up with Zexal. A lot of people watched it like as it was coming out. For me, Yuma just is not an interesting character in Zexal. I feel like I'm watching Zexal for like Kaito and like Shark. Like that's... I mean, saying that, I am actually really enjoying 4 as well, or Quattro. Really enjoying those characters. Do you think we could soon new selection for us? There is a high chance, Matea, that we get a selection next month. So, like, in about a week. There is a high chance we get that. I don't want us to, but there is a high chance we do. Have you done the event? The Rush Duel Utopia is annoying because of it ruining the aura of Utopia. Alright, again, controversial take. From a guy who is not finished watching Zexal yet. I don't think Utopia has aura. I don't know. It's a weird one. I've never thought Utopia was like a cool boss monster. But again, maybe I'll change my mind when I get to like the end of Zexal. Maybe I'll be like, actually, nah, Utopia kind of sick. So far, in the show, he's been kind of mid. And... the, like, Chaos 6E's Utopia, well, Utopia Ray, is also not super hype. That's just, like, I don't know. That's how I look at it right now. Yuma's deck on baseball theme makes sense. Does it? Literally, no shot you think that after looking at all those Overrush... I mean, it's a difference in opinion, right? At the end of the day, different aesthetics will appeal to different people, right? But let's take a look at this one. Fairy of the Stars. Level 4. Made using Spirit of the Stars and any normal monster. Shuffle 3 monsters in your graveyard into the deck. Choose 1 level 5 or lower monster in your graveyard. This card's name becomes the same name as the chosen monster for the rest of this turn. Then you can choose 1 fusion in your graveyard and add it to the hand. Okay, so we fuse 2. We get back fusion and we change our name. So this is a -2 to basically get a name change. Is that worth? It's got a decent defense stat. I feel like this could be really good, but I would have to know like what the rest of these cards are. Like Spirit of the Stars, I don't know what it is off the top of my head. Evolution of the Spirit Dragon, or the Star Dragon. Shuffle a light or dark fusion monster from your graveyard into the extra deck. Choose 1 card in your opponent's field and destroy it. Respectable. Then you can choose 1 light normal monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So most of the time, I would assume you're probably bringing back the 21 to fuse off again. Not bad. Then Star Sanctuary of the Beginning. Now, this card's name is treated as Star of the Beginning while in your hand or graveyard. When your opponent normal summons a monster, you can place 1 fusion monster or normal monster from your graveyard at the bottom of your deck. Okay. Change that normal summon monster to face down defense position. If you return a fusion monster, you can choose 1 face down card in your opponent's field and destroy it. This is a really good trap card. Now, it's a bit awkward. But just being able to use it as a one, kind of a singleton shiny shady is already pretty good. But we can only use it when they normal summon. That is a little bit tricky. If you could use this on special, this would be really, really good. I still think this is good, but not like crazy, insane good. It depends how often and how frequently we can fusion summon. If we're fusion summoning all the time, this could be really good. Hey, Duke, welcome, welcome. Is it a light galaxy support? Not really. I don't actually know what. These are like fairies, right? These are like fairies and dragons, I would assume. Oh, this is a spellcaster. This is a dragon. Yeah, so none of this is like galaxy that we can see. Are we getting a new Udius skill and new galaxy fusion card? Doesn't look like it, Duke. Does not look like it at the moment. Full overrush rare slot. Decent trap for an otherwise meh deck. I actually think a lot of these cards individually don't look like much. I think when you put them all together, this actually could end up being a decently strong deck. I don't know if this is going to be like a really, really strong, but I could see this being tiered. Like, this could make it into like a tier 3 slot. I could see that happening. Like, nothing in here like screams, oh, this is just going to win the game on its own. But there's a lot of advantage generation. There's a lot of like plate spinning. The question is, what do you do at the end of all your plate spinning, right? All right, next up, SW, Asura Bat. So what does the SW stand for? So these used to be ZW, so Zexal weapons. So what is an SW? I don't know if they actually mention it or not. Sayonara weapon. Okay, Sayonara weapons. So that means that's like goodbye weapon? Okay. Level 4, same stats. If there's a face-up Fevra Spirit Stadium on the field, choose a face-up level 8 or higher Fire Warrior monster, equip this card to its crit spell. And this is a union, very important. For the rest of this turn, you can only declare 3 attacks this turn. I don't like that. I don't like that. I get why. I understand. It's to try and stop you from OTKing. But now this just feels really mid. So the effect is it can make your monster attack all of your opponent's monsters once each. Which is like, that's a fine effect if you get 2 direct attacks afterwards. Without that, I don't know about this. I don't know. What Sevens links? Sevens Links is basically like a nickname the game's been given because everyone plays Sevens Road Magician and set the Sevens Road deck. Of the 3 decks, I would say it's the weakest. I would say Baseball has the best shot. Xyz is great, but or XYZ, but they miss a bit of oomph. I actually think the XYZ deck could be really, really good. I think it has a lot of potential. I haven't like tested it, but like looking at some of the cards, I feel like it's very close to just being insanely good. And the question is going to be, can you splash other stuff into it? But we'll have to wait and see. We will have to wait and see. What the hell is that weapon name? It's the Sayonara weapon! Because it's a joke archetype. A Sayonara is a Japanese term meaning goodbye that is used in baseball to describe a walk-off hit that ends the game. Potentially captures the moment losing team must say farewell to their chances of winning. Ah, okay. So it is actually like a Japanese baseball reference. Okay. I mean, that's neat. Alright, now we get just artwork. So headliner of raiding. So this is the new Royal Rebel booster pack that we're going to be getting. I'm not going to lie, guys. Is it just me, or is this artwork kind of mid? So, I like everything except Bro's head. I don't know what's going on, but this is not a cool looking head. Like, the scythe looks sick. The hand, with all the tattoos on it, looks sick. The outfit looks sick. The wings look sick. And then this head looks goofy. Like, it's a goofy-ass looking face. It just looks bad. Like, I legit think everything about this looks amazing, except this stupid-ass face looks so dumb. Sidra and Flag Mech, as always with light machines. Exactly, exactly. Make fun of Yuma, deck for Zexal. I think it is fair to make fun of Yuma. That is sick. I like the tats. What is that? I think everything looks good, except this face. Like, is there a way I can, like... How can we do this? What's the best way? If I do... Oh, that's just not going to work. That's a shame. Well, nothing I can do about that. Alright, I can't do what I was going to do, because I haven't set this up correctly, but I don't think his face looks good. His face looks dumb. Hello, Serena. Welcome, Serena. Smash next question. No. Another 1,000 years of Rebel support. We don't get Rebel support that often in OCG. We've only had, like, 2 proper waves. So then we get Royal Rebels Extreme. I get what they were going for. But to me, this just doesn't look Royal Rebel-y. This looks light machine-y, you know? I don't know. I'm not a fan of this. I think if you change the color scheme, this would look sick for a Royal Rebel card. But without that, I'm not feeling it. Not feeling it. You can release the baseball support in Duel Links early. It seems like it would be so good in Duel Links. I mean, they absolutely could if they want to. Morphtronic, is that you? So then we have Royal Rebels Great Mixer, which again... See, this, unironically, it's the same guy, right? This is the same character? Is this the same character? Yeah, this is the same character. He's got the same, like, face. But he looks cooler here. His face looks better. It's just drawn better here. Down here we have Rocker, and over here we have Shout. Wait, are there groupies here? Is this, this is some sort of insect card. This looks like some sort of reptile. Either way. Looks like Mirror Innovator wanted to be a rebel. I mean, maybe. Are these new supports look more Duel Links thing? I mean, potentially. Then we have the new Star Protector deck, which I don't know. Does Star Protector need its own archetype? Like, is that something that we feel like we really need? I guess, like, this is the waifu bait deck, I guess. Like, everyone likes a waifu. And here's the husbando bait for... I assume this is part of the same archetype. This is contracted to the Deep Dragon. No, this is Fist of the Star Protector's Roaring Fist, I guess. I mean... whatever, right? Magical Weapon Tracked. I don't even know what's going on with this. Does this look cool? I think this kind of looks cool. This doesn't look bad. Hey, Bankai, welcome, welcome. More like Dracotail card? I mean, maybe. Hello, guys. No, they should ban Star Pro. I'm glad they're still cooking with no anime. I mean, yeah, I would really like an anime to come back, though. The Imprisoned Dragon Princess. And it's trying to be helped or guarded? I don't even know what's going on here, like, narratively. But all of these are the magical weapon. He's, like, guarded by them. And then we have the Luan Adventurers. So we already have, I think, a 1500 vanilla that features these guys. And now they're getting their own archetype. I don't know, man. I mean, at the end of the day, if the deck's good, I'll play it. But I'm not... I don't know. I don't know if I'm, like, the demographic for these. They don't look bad. Like, they don't look awful. Branded but good. Started playing Speed again. This shit is actually fun. It's funny as well because the more I see people talk about Speed, the more it seems like people kind of hate the current format. And the more that it's like more and more tier 0. Then, here we go. Here's the good ones. So these are the healthy. And it's spelt weird. It's like Helthy. I don't know if it's meant to be like a pun or something. But this is our first one. She's got a number 5 on her. I think everyone really likes this card. Then we have Healthy Olivia. This is a tapir. And we're on like some sort of cloud chair, I guess. Then we have... So this one was Rem, I guess. Yeah, this was Olivia. This one was Rem. This one is Sati, which has a fire spirit with her. Number 108. I don't know if the numbers mean anything. Does this one have a number on it? Number 3. So we've got 5, 3, and then 108. I mean, to be honest, I played Red Eyes into Stardust. One, though, very suboptimal Stardust list. I mean, yeah, if you're beating, like, the tier 0 deck with... Or one of the tier 0 decks, I suppose. I don't even really know where it's at. But right now, I think Stardust is still winning everything. With a deck that's kind of mediocre, chances are you were playing against someone that wasn't very good. Because, again, I've beaten Stardust a whole bunch as well, playing my dinos. But I never consider the people I beat to be, like, the upper echelon, right? I need to see Olivia crush a watermelon with her thighs. I mean, that might be coming up in a spell card. You never know, right? Never say never. Baguska in Rush. Literally Baguska. Who was using Turbo Synchron and bad Synchron cards. Well, yeah, there we go then. There we go. Speaking of, so this is Healthy High. All you have to do is imagine there's a watermelon here. So still number 5. I don't know if the numbers are ever going to change. But down here we have a throw thanks to good health. So this is the Fire Spirit one, who is throwing... I assume this is like a shot put? I'm trying to like work out what these guys are holding in the background here. Because in my mind, these are like... I don't know, Olympics? It kind of looks like an Olympic competition. But I don't know if that's actually the case. Start boasting about your health. See, this reminds me of the Gakuto, like, rapping. That's what this reminds me of. Skill adds all Infernity cards to extra deck and hand treated as 0 always. That would be kind of crazy, but I don't know. Would Infernity be able to make a comeback there? I suppose Infernity could still build, like, a really good board, right? Free Agents is the next one. So, Surtur, the Brilliant Magical Sword. I mean, this looks fine. Got Volcano in the background. We've got a Flaming Sword. And then Ein Sof Ritter. I don't know how I feel about this card. I don't like the whole, like, spinal column being seen. I also... I don't know. This is a weird artwork. This is just a weird one. Free Agents, that second one, could have been our own theme. I mean, potentially. Blackwing stuff is more interesting to come. I mean, do we even have many Blackwing cards left? I don't think there are many we don't have in Duel Links already. So I'm not really sure what they're going to do with it. Alright, the stars that started it all. So here we have the full art Overrush version of... What is this card even called again? It's like Star of the Beginning. Yeah, so this is its current art. And then this is the new art we're getting. God, this card looks good. It looks so good, man. It looks so good. We're missing quite a bit. So let me have a quick look then. Let's have a quick gander. Not released. Oh, we are actually missing quite a bit. Okay. I assume the hype cards are going to be these. I don't know if they're going to give us Gofu, because Gofu is Gofu. Is there anything else in here that... I don't recognize any of these off the top of my head, so I don't know if any of these are actually, like, really, really good or not. But, right, do these guys have Omni Negates, guys? Because if they don't have Omni Negates, I don't know. Give us the good stuff, and then Stardust-like skill. I mean, maybe. Imagine not having TCG Rush. I mean, well, we don't have TCG Rush, so... Hello, Starfall. It's not English released yet. What are we talking about there, Starfall? Are we talking about Blackwings? Are we talking about the Rush Duel OCG cards? Are we talking about Rush Duel in general? I'm dreading Eventual Eternity and Blackwing support. I hate both of these decks with a passion. Really? You hate Blackwing and Infernity? I mean, I guess. Like, for the most part, I don't know what kind of decks you play, Serena, outside of the obvious. I don't know if you're the kind of player that really likes, like, you know, waifu decks and, like, cute girl decks or not. Because if that's the case, then obviously you wouldn't want to. Meta for WCS is just 5Ds. I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing. The full art card you're talking about. Yeah, so this card comes out with the release of the XYZ pack, which comes out on the 11th of the 7th? Or the 7th of the 11th. So this should come out on the, what, the 11th of July is when this comes out? Dr. Alex, subscribe for 34 months. Thank you, Alex. Always a pleasure. Serena plays cringe. Serena plays cringe times 2.
_Dr_Alex.
What do we define as cringe, though?
Months.
Like, are we saying, like, is Stardust cringe? Because it's, like, tier 0? Is, like, Centurion cringe because it plays with Odeon and Odeon's cringe? Right? It's like, what do we count as cringe at the moment? Blackwing just double Tax Dragon Turbo, then Infernity is just go first equals win, go second equals lose. It's really uninteresting gameplay to me. But is that not a problem with how the deck currently functions? Because Infernity has been like that for like years and years and years at this point. If they got new support and a new skill, surely the deck would suddenly be different. It would play like on a different axis, right? Serena plays cringe squared. We have a new spell card here. Pleiades Clustering Stars. We'll get through this real quickly. Send a Fusion Star at the beginning or Starry Start from your hand to the graveyard. So that's immediately a -2. Send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard. Then you can choose 2 cards from among them and add them back to the hand. For the rest of the turn, you cannot attack monsters except Fusion and normal monsters. Okay. We break even and we put a restriction on us. But it's quite nice that you're able to choose 2 out of 3. That doesn't really matter, though, because if this was just like a discard a card, draw 2, it's basically the same, except this gives you like slightly more control, so this is kind of whatever. Like, it's fine. It's not great. It's not bad. Royal Rebel and Jointech. Holy dream. One of these days. So here it is. Jointech of Passion. This is what a lot of people have been waiting for. So, the third 2026 core booster pack for Rush Duel Jointech of Passion goes on sale November 7th, 2026. This pack contains a new ace monster for the Jointech strategy used by Odo Yuhi from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush anime, and overall boost the deck as well. The ultimate rarity, full Overrush rare included in this pack will be for 2 reprinted cards, one from Rush Duel and one from a card that originates from the OCG, each with a brand new artwork. Also, the Overrush Premium Black version that features special artwork will continue to be included. So we don't really get a ton of information. People are already assuming which Jointech boss we're getting, but you never know. It could be something brand new. Because all of this basically says is it's a new ace monster for Jointech, and Jointech was used by Yuhi, who was in Go Rush. This doesn't actually say the boss monster we're getting has to be a card that was used in the Go Rush anime, but you would expect it to be, right? But yeah, that's all the OCG stuff. So with all of that done, I think it's time. I think it's time for us to talk about the stuff that we think we're going to be getting in the next pack. So let's start with the obvious. We've already made a video about this. This was us talking about the stuff we're going to be getting from the new leaked skills. So obviously we're getting Osaka. We already know this is happening. And the other skill that we know that we're going to be getting is going to be Sky Savior. So with that in mind, we already kind of have an idea of some of the stuff we'll be getting. I think the most obvious thing we're going to be getting, if we come all the way down here, is a UR is going to be Barkama. I don't think there's a world where Barkama is not a UR. Basically, everyone's ace monster is always a box UR. So we're almost guaranteed to get Barkama as a UR, right? Diskarma Rhynak isn't in OCG yet. It is absolutely not in OCG yet. We still do not know when we're going to be getting that card. Now, if we do get Barkama, the question becomes, do they make Dangerous Barkama also a box UR? How often do they do that? If we look at the last box, they gave us 4 different URs. Obviously, that's what they always do. But all of these are for a different deck, right? So we've got the 4D deck. We've got 4 Light Galaxy, we've got a Dark Magician, and we've got Seven's Road. So all of these were for different decks. So if they give us Barkama as a box UR, do we think that means they would give us Dangerous Barkama as an SR? Or is that weird? Because it's like, obviously Dangerous Barkama is more important, right? If we jump back over to here. So this is Barkama, Destructor 1 Barkama. This is her, like, main deck ace. But then she has, if we go over here, her extra deck ace. So which one do we think is more likely to get the UR slot? Because I don't think they'd give the UR slot to both of them. I forgot the Dark Galaxy Contact didn't get a single UR. What do we mean by that? Because they have the bundle. They got a UR in the bundle. So, like, that's something, I guess. The other thing is, like, there's no way they don't give us Dangerous Bark come out, right? There's no way they don't give it to us. So I think they both have to be in here somewhere. I just don't know exactly where. If we got a UR for Sky Saviors, and if we go by my assumption they're going to give us all the Sky Saviors, I think the UR for that is, if we find it, Degradation. I think Degradation makes the most sense to be a UR for this, assuming we get all the cards. Referring to the box itself. I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. So I think Degradation would make the most sense. We'll just write Sky Savior here so we don't get confused. As a UR for the box. Now, those are the two that we know we're getting. So the question becomes, what would these be? Because we don't have skills for these. So what we do know is that Dueling as Ramen got a buff. We know that Darkness Returns got a buff. And we know that Hard Rock Overture got a buff. The thing is, I don't even know what Royal Rebel stuff they could slap in this box. Like, what Royal Rebel cards do we not already currently have? Expect one more deck. We should expect at least one more. It's just we don't have skills, which makes it very difficult to, like, judge what they're going to be, right? So let's have a look at the Royal Rebel stuff we don't already have. It's like, is any of this, like, box UR worthy? I don't know about that. Like, you could chuck some of these in the box, but, like, none of them are, like, good. Like, this is probably the best card in here, followed by Echo. But I don't think they're, like, box UR worthy. Let's check out Noodles, because I think this is more likely. I think Meat Spice would be a good bit. I'm going to go ahead and chuck Meat Spice in here now. So, the reason, and this is something that Luis Fernandez did point out during our last stream, is twofold. We're getting Dueling as Ramen as an update, right? We're getting a buff to the skill. So that's already like, okay, they're looking at it. And we just unhit Extra Spice. So unhitting Extra Spice makes sense if we're about to get another burn guy. So if we get Meat Spice, I think that does make sense. Now, the other thing they could do is slap it in a bundle, but I think that'd be a bit weird. I think that would be a bit strange. So for me, Meat Spice makes sense to be there. And then it comes back to like this big question mark of like, what are we doing with this last UR? Like, is this going to be like a generic staple, maybe? 2 UR Worms released like Dark Galaxy. Let's have a look then. When was what was the Dark Galaxy box called? Do we even remember? I mean, I suppose we could do this, right? We could go to Duel Links boxes, and then come over here, and then over here. So Dark Galaxy, when it first came out, was here. So we had Cataphract was the other UR. Yeah, I mean, they could do that if they wanted to. If they were going to do that, the question then becomes, would they give it to a good main deck card, or would they give it to Dangerous Bark come up? I guess it doesn't really matter right now. We'll put this here for now, and then we can come back to that. Because worst case scenario, we can just move it around later. Now, bundle. This is something I also want to talk about. We have a bundle and a character drop for Asaka. If we're going to get a bundle card, I think the most, other than like something just like super generic or like a new legend, I think Sky Savior Wish would be a good potential for a bundle card. Because that card is so good. And I don't know if Konami want to give us 3 copies of Wish, but I think they do want to give us Wish. Then, for character drops, I don't know. What do we actually think they'd want to give Asaka as a character drop? They could give us, like, Helmet if they wanted, but it just feels a bit weird to give us Helmet as a character drop. Double Wish like Assault Sergeant? I mean, they could, but I still think 2 Wish is still really good. They could give us, like, Shutter. At this point, I don't even know, like, what makes sense to give us. Like, Heavy Shock would be fine. Steeplejack. I still don't think they're going to give us the darkness stuff. I think that's where they're not going to want to go over that line. Because they could give us, like, Nika and Poker, but I don't know if they would. I also think they probably want to give us some monsters in the... or at least a monster. Limit 1 Floodgate bundle, clearly. I mean, they could. That's the alternative, right? God, what is it? It's Altiera, I think it's called. That is the other option. The thing is, I don't even think that matters. I don't think you're going to max out on Altiera anyway. Because your deck is going to have, like, 8 different extra deck monsters in it already. I don't know if you're going to have room to, like, spam out multiple copies of this card. Do you think we're getting the Floodgate at all? I think the Floodgate would be fine, right? Like, let's look at the current metagame, right? We just, straight up. We go... I mean, tier list is probably not the best place to look, but... we'll come over here. Gradius would find it annoying, because they actually do play 2 spell cards that are quite big. Elemental Hero would find it very annoying, because they spam spell cards. Dark Galaxy, I don't think gives a shit. Ether Dragon doesn't give a shit. Now, Music Princess would care a lot. Spellcasters would probably also care quite a lot. High-Tech Dragon would really care. Yeah, maybe they wouldn't let us have more than one. Or maybe they wouldn't let us have it at all. It's a weird one, because it does create non-games, which I think is really bad for Rush. But hello, Shui. Let me do an exclamation mark Shui in the chat. Always got to give a shout out to the boys. Do you think we're getting the Floodgate at all? I mean, we don't know, right? Trust me, plants in the new box. Would you even want plants if you don't get a skill for them? Like, that just means they're just DOA, right? How many fusions can we summon before the main deck Sky Savior lose their effect? Well, you never lose the effect. It's just you can show how many you want. Obviously, you want 5 is the magic number to get, like, the maximum. But you don't, like, need to go, like, beyond that or anything. I really don't know what they're going to give us as character drops for her. Like, I could see this being, like, Demolition Shatter. Like, the equip spell. Maybe just slap a fusion on her? You could just give her, like, Blast Kaiser or something. Because again, the important card that we don't know we're getting yet is this. Shatter is like, well, it's Destructor now. It's not Demolition, sorry. We're not allowed to say Demolition anymore. Destructor. I think we have to get... we don't have to get Shatter. I would like to get Shatter. I think Shatter, like, brings the deck together. I mean, we could just get something like Kasetsu Baiton or something. Because it doesn't really matter. It's going to be an SR either way, right? Let's throw it in there for now. Kasetsu Baiton. So, SRs. How many SRs does that leave that we think are probably going to be SRs? Do we think Shokudu would be an SR? Place a 1 monster from your graveyard on either the top or bottom of your deck. One face-up monster from your figure is 100 attack. You can add Helmet or a normal worm from your graveyard to your hand. I mean, this is like... this is potentially barely SR material. So let's just chuck them in there for now. So that'd be Shokudu. I don't think we would need most of the fusions to be SRs. I think this one could probably be an SR. Heavy Shock. I think the other fusion, if it comes out, probably can just be a Blast Kaiser. I think Blast Kaiser could probably just be an NR, to be honest. But maybe that's a bit harsh. Some cards will be level up rewards, yeah. Yeah, but the level up rewards will most likely be like garbage cards, right? Like, if we take a look at... what, like... I mean, what's the best way to look at this? Maybe it's actually to go into here. If we go to Go Rush, if we go to Immy. I guess the best way to do this then is to swap over to here. Then click on here. Go over to Immy on here. So, she got what? Good Goo. That was what? SR, Vanilla. Shitty Vanilla no one plays. So we're expecting like 2 kind of mid things. So like Toby Shock will probably make it here as like a level up reward. If we go level up rewards. So we're expecting 3 cards. So Toby Shock will be one of them. Potentially a boss. I don't even know what boss you would put in as a level up reward, to be honest. Maybe you just put one of the fusions in. And then that, like, maxed out level up reward as well is going to have to be something good. The field spell? Which field spell, though? Because we've already seen... Like, you could do this one, maybe? Like, Fuse Gate? Because I don't think it's going to be Autumn Leaves. Because we already have Autumn Leaves in the files, which implies we're getting it in, like, a weird way. Like, I think people have already kind of assumed we're getting this as the rank reward. How many episodes were shown at the Bleach screening? 3. 3 episodes. Fuse Gate I could see, and a Fusion Monster too. I mean, maybe. They're going to be somewhere either way, right? So we can chuck them in. And if we're going to get, like, it could be Blast Kaiser, I guess, could be in here. Like, it doesn't really make much difference, right? The point is they have to be somewhere, assuming we're getting them all. Hello, Pokemaster Ian. I'm going to predict that the new box is Asaka card, Sky Savior, and new hero support. Yeah, I mean, we could get new hero support. What kind of hero support do you think it would be, though? Whenever in doubt, assume Sidra or Hero. I mean, Sidra could do with a new wave of support. Hasn't got anything in ages. And that deck is just really mediocre. Like, it hasn't done anything in so long. Alright, what else do we want? I mean, this is probably going to be in the box. What, Conquadia? Probably not even as an SR. I can go there. What else have we not touched on yet? I don't think we're getting them. I'm not sure about Nika and Poker. I think there's an okay chance we get them, but I don't know. A Shiba BK we're probably getting. And that'll probably be an SR. I don't know about Harken Harken. I think if we do get Harken Harken, it'll probably just be down here. And then it's like Destructor Survey. I mean, we could get Destructor Survey. That would be fine. I don't know if it would take up an SR spot. Skyscraper better not be in this box. It's kind of on them with worms using fields theme. I mean, kind of. We're getting a lot of field spells, right? Nika Poker could be solid level up rewards. Yeah, I kind of get what you're saying. I think maybe they'd be a little bit too good. One thing we have to remember as well is one of these level up rewards we're only getting 1 copy of as well. Elemental Hero Sky Neos, I'm going to predict. The thing is that, so you're right, that is an Elemental Hero card, but that's not going to see play in the Elemental Hero deck, right? That boosts the Neos deck, which is kind of its own thing. Like, obviously there's some crossover, but like, they're not like one-to-one the same deck, right? The other thing they could do is give us some sort of Music Princess card, but I don't know if they would do that. We'll come back to that in a minute. For now, we'll keep going through the worm stuff. Scale Ruler. I'm not convinced we're going to get this. I would like to get this, but I'm not convinced we're going to. So we'll skip that for now. Resurrection? I mean, we should get Resurrection, right? Surely we get Resurrection. So this is now going to be what? Oh, this is still Constructor. Resurrection. I can't spell Resurrection, we'll just leave it like that now. Use Gate at 1 could be the one of. I wonder if they'll put Gate and Autumn at 1 each. I mean, they could. It wouldn't surprise me too much. I think the deck will probably want to have a limit 1. Because otherwise it could end up being a little bit too good. Destructive Barricade. Again, I don't know where these trap cards fall, or even if we're going to go to actually get them. So it's a bit of a weird one to try and predict. We'll probably get Ambush, because Ambush is kind of crap. So I think that'll be fine. We are in an ad break as well, so we're just going to let the ads tick away. Let's move this around a bit while we wait for the ads. 2, 1. Hello, everyone. Welcome back from the edges. I hope everyone had good edges. So, does anyone think we're actually going to get Absolute Destruction? Does anyone think Konami is going to be bold enough to give us Mirror Force? I kind of feel like no. We got to get at least one new RR card, surely. Skill buff out of nowhere kind of sus. The thing is, we've had skill buffs in the past that didn't go anywhere. So it's not like guaranteed that we're definitely going to get a new card for it. Sometimes they just buff the skill and then just leave it forever. So now the question becomes, what are we doing with the rarity of all of the Sky Savior stuff? Because there's too many Sky Savior cards that, like, theoretically could be high rarity. Like, all the fusions could be high rarity. I mean, some of them are kind of mediocre, so they'd be quite easily be lower rarity. What are, like, the real good fusions? Because, like, there are some that I really like, but I don't think that just automatically means they're going to be high rarity cards. It's like Soul is really good, but, like, is Soul... Soul's probably like an SR, right? Fusions, SR, Angels, UR? Well, that doesn't fit. We only have 4 UR slots. So it wouldn't fit. Unless you're saying Meat Spice isn't going to be a UR, which would be blasphemous. Meat Spice must be a UR. Cute, you think we're getting Meat Spice? But look at the evidence! Unlimited extra spice. Buffed noodle skill. The evidence is all there, Manarchist. Even you cannot cope this hard that we're not getting it. I believe in Meat Spice. I believe in Meaty. We're going to get a Meaty boy, and it's going to be great. Meat could be an SR. No, because you see, for SR, I think we're getting the other noodle. If we go back over to here. I think we're going to be getting Beginning Hayashi. That's what I think would be awesome. Just give us all the rest of the noodle cards all in one go. It's like, for me... Bam, Hayashi. That's what I would really like to see. I think if we get Hayashi and Meat Spice, Noodles becomes, like... I don't know if it actually becomes playable, but, like, it definitely has a lot more to stand on, right? You're still going to have the issue where you can only fusion once, and I think that's going to really let the deck down. Because a lot of the time you're going to be like, well, do I want the Piercer? Do I want the Burner? Do I want the Direct Attacker? Do I want the Popper? And it's like, well, I want all of them. Either way, I could see Lua and Soleil being SRs. I could just straight up see that. And then all the other fusions would have to be... The thing is, I think Soul should also be an SR. I mean, maybe Soul doesn't have to be. Maybe Soul could just be down here. The issue is there's so many fusions that I don't think they could all be SR. Because I also think Witnesses is probably an SR card. I mean, at some point, some of these cards have to drop down. So I think Dunkus would probably be down here. I think Ciela would... I think Ciela is such an SR card. This is why it's so hard. I think there are so many Sky Savior cards that feel like they should be high rarity, but they're just not going to be. So it's really hard to predict where they're going to end up. Like, surely we have to have a bunch of fusions up here, right? Surely we have to have all the best fusions up there. That's why it's 2 skill only, 70% of the box is Sky Savior. I mean, that's assuming we get all the Sky Savior stuff. They could just make it really underwhelming and give us barely any of the Sky Savior stuff, but that would be so lame. Like, imagine they don't give us the modern stuff. Like, imagine they don't give us Degradation, they don't give us Neocritter, they don't give us the Seer stuff, the Ranga stuff, they don't give us Wish, they don't give us Claymont. Like, that would be so boring. Consistency cards are most of the time SR or UR, the things you want to have at 3. Yeah, but the issue is I think you'd want most of these cards to be at 3. I guess not the fusions. The fusions you're going to need to have just like one of each. Claymont you'd probably want at least 2. I don't think any of these fusions matter too much. Degradation, you'll only be able to fit 1, so I think you're only going to be able to have 1. Soul you're going to want to have 3 of. Limlith, you're probably going to have 2 or 3 of. So, yeah, then I'm like, well, okay, Limlith comes in here. If we get the spell card... what is the spell card called? Not Oath. Aspiration. If we get Aspiration, that would be a good card to have at 3. Ciela, I also think is a card that you'd probably want to have at 3. Just because it's like... It's also a good splashable card in other decks as well. But here we'd have, like, Druckmore. We'd probably have, like, Ranga or Ragnar, I forget what he's called. Seer. You'd probably want some of the other fusions as well. I completely forget their names. What's this one called? Digrace. So when you start, like, putting them out like this, it looks like there's just too many Sky Savior cards for them all to come out at once. Altiera, we've already got down. Saucier. New legend card, same time. Which legend card are we talking about? I mean, Symbol, this could come out. Nell Critter, that could come out. Sanmarth. So we're starting to run out of NR slots already. Like, this is getting kind of crazy. There's so many cards. Ranga, Galflare. Wish we've already got down. Claymont. We'll put Claymont down here for now. Quillides. Chartreuse. Look, there's so few slots remaining already. It's like, it's so crazy. We've already got Degradation, we've already got Soul, we've already done Limlith. Prayer. There's no way we're getting all of these cards. Like, surely there's just no way. Oath. Bearing in mind, we still haven't, like, covered any of just, like, the random vanilla worms. Already done Aspiration. I don't know if we'd bother getting Defense, but if we do... Right, that's it for the Sky Savior stuff. So that is all the Sky Savior stuff is now in here. But again, we're still missing stuff. I think it has an equipped legend. Oh, the Mage Power. Sky Savior might get the QT treatment and only get the small core package. It could, but that would suck, is the thing. So we're hoping that doesn't happen. I feel like we need all of these cards in order to build the deck correctly, right? Will we ever get the other Harpy cards? I think we will. I think Konami's a little bit worried about the Harpy cards. This is something we've seen. Konami seems to be very wary. They seem to be kind of scared to give us a lot of really strong stuff. So a good example of this is for Harpies, or not Harpies, for, what's the deck called? XQE. They gave us a really, really terrible skill that restricted them from doing a lot, and then also forced them to have a 33 card deck. Now, that deck has done literally nothing. So there was no reason to give it that kind of strict restriction, but they were scared of it because they saw what it did in TCG, or in the OCG for Rush. They saw how detrimental it could be if it repeated the past. The thing is, it was never going to repeat the past because it's a completely different format, right? So I think they're a little bit worried because the Harpy cards have had 3 major waves in the OCG, and every time they've been tier 0. Every single time. Same for Gradius. Gradius was not, I think, anywhere near as scary as Harpies, so it didn't get as strict a restriction. Konami has trauma from Rush Harpies. I mean, basically. Prisma incoming. I mean, it could be. Absolutely could be Prisma. I don't know if we should get Prisma. We could, though. Again, we've got quite a lot of contact fusions. It would make sense. Harpies they fear extremely. I mean, again, they have found a way to make this deck tier 0 3 different times, which is kind of insane. Like, no other deck has had that sort of treatment in Rush. Harpies are, like, the fan favorite, as well as, like, the golden child by Konami. To the point where, like, everyone was saying, could you please ban Harpy Lady 1, 2, and 3? And it just got to live for so long. And then eventually got banned. And it was just like, this took so long to actually happen. Alright, we are, again, still missing some worm cards. So let's take a quick look. If we go to worms, and if we go to not released. So I don't think we have to care about any of the earth stuff too much. But I think we are probably in this box going to get some of this weird crap, like Plasterer and like Plumber. Like that's going to come out somewhere, right? So I'm just going to put Plumber here for now. We don't actually think it's going to be an SR, but like it's got to come out somewhere, right? Because there's no way they don't just dump that shit on us. They're not going to like hold on to that. That's kind of it though. Oh, we haven't put Helmet in either. Right, Helmet is going to take Plumber's spot. I really don't know where Plumber's going, because that's coming out somewhere. Which makes me think some of this stuff, we can't be getting all the Sky Savior stuff, right? They're going to take some of it away. Surely they're just going to take some of it away. Does Card Defender work with Sky Savior? No, because Card Defender needs you to have Vanillas and Warrior fusions, and all the Sky Savior fusions are Celestial Warriors, so they don't count. 1, 2, 3, only non-floodgate card banned in Rush. Because it's just insanely strong. Insanely strong. Molten Martial Machine isn't the most OP deck ever. I mean, Molten Martial Machine is a really cool deck. It's just bad. I don't know why they designed the cards intentionally to be mid. Like, it's just so disappointing. But it is what it is, right? The other thing to remember is, like, we're not going to get 2 different bundles for both for Sky Savior, right? So also one of these is going to have to come over here as well. So, like, you put it out like that, and then suddenly it's like, how the hell are we fitting everything? Well, the answer is obvious, right? We're just not. I mean, if we kick out, like, Meat Spice and Hiyashi, that makes room. But, like, I really want Meat Spice and Hiyashi. Put Amp and Guardian. I don't think we're getting... The other thing to take note of as well is there is also the selection box. It's but like, what do you chuck in a selection? What did we get in the last selection for Rush? Let's have a quick look. Let's come over here. That's the wrong button. Let's go articles. Let's go selection. Rush selection box 3. So this was the latest Rush selection box we got. What was in here? So we had... That was, like, sort of a reprint, but also an Overrush version. That was a reprint with an Overrush version. That was not a reprint, but sort of a reprint. That was... Doom Metal was a straight reprint, right? What was new in here? This is the issue, is I don't remember when this came out. This came out June 27th, so basically a year ago. This was new. Was Secret Order... No, Secret Order wasn't new in this, was it? That was like the old art. What was new? Which of these URs were new? was it just Processor was like the only new UR? Like, actually new card? Because that's wild. They released an entire box just basically to be the Processor box. Like, obviously, Curse was in here. Yeah, Curse and Gale. I think this was their first outing. I think this was a reprint. This was... Was this a reprint? No, this was released June 27th. Unless... June 27th. June 27th. Yeah, so these were all... I guess released here? The Dragon was too. So this has a non-UR, non-Overrush version that was released earlier. This came out September 22nd. So this was just a reprint of a different, like, Overrush. In the same way you can make an argument this was the first version of Heavy Metal to have this artwork, right? So in terms of actually just brand new cards, I think it was Cyber Processor, Curse, Gale, and Dealer, and that was it. So there were only 4 new cards. I mean, if we look at it from that perspective, we could get just 1 new UR, and then 3 new SRs. Now, the thing about this selection box, though, is none of these are, like, deck-specific. These are all generic. Like, you can make the argument that most people won't play Gale, and some skills lock you out of using it, but this is an extremely generic card. This is an extremely generic card. This is an extremely generic card. This is very much not a generic card. So it's like... It makes you feel even worse, because they wanted so many gems to go into this box to get 3 new cards. Or 4 new cards, I guess. The Dragon was new. Where Dragon? This was not new. Right? Because it came out in 2020... Let's have a look. Oh no, yeah, you are right. You are right. It was the other way around. Okay, but the Dragon was shit. That is my counterpoint there. So there was a new Dragon, but it was bad. But it was also generic. I don't even know if we can call that generic. It has a generic effect, but it was still a big dragon monster, so it's need to be playing dragons. Justiciar Sunset Shipper 7, that's my guess. Oh, what do we think about that? I think Ship of 7 makes sense. I think it's about time for Ship of 7, and I don't think it needs to be UR. So I think Ship of 7 makes sense. Now, Justiciar. Do we not think it's... I don't know if we want Justiciar. I think we're more likely to get... Sea Dragon Knight. This is Justiciar at home. I think we're more likely to get this. Does Ether allow the other level 9 monsters? Yeah, I don't think there's any deck building restrictions on it whatsoever. I think Sea Dragon Knight has potential to be in this box, though. So I'm going to put that in. I could see Sunset in here. I could also see this as being the UR in this box as well. Because these are 3 really good generic cards. The other level 9. I forget what it's called. It's the Earth Spellcaster. Let's have a look quick. Earth Spellcaster 9. This guy. Sworn Supporter of the Celestial Saint. So you think we could get Sworn Supporter? I don't hate that. It's a bit of a weird card, right? I don't even know if this does anything. There's also a support card for this. What is it called? This one? Yeah, we could get Rurigra the Eternal. So during the turn you normal summon this card, place one card from your opponent's graveyard at the bottom of the deck, then excavate the top 4 cards of your deck. You can add a level 9 Earth Attribute Spellcaster to your hand. Place the other cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. We could get that. Over Rush Shady. I mean, they could do that, but we're not talking about, like, you know, currently existing cards. I think Rurigra would be an okay card to include in here as well. I could see that being the lineup. I'm still not sure about, like, the rarities of these, but potentially this could just be effectively what the box is going to look like. This could be what the selection looks like. These could be the level up rewards. I could see this as just being what we get. The thing is there anything missing here? Like, is there anything, like, crazy? Like, you could make an argument we haven't put any Royal Rebels on here. You could make an argument we haven't put any dragons on here, because the skill did just get buffed for the dragons as well. The Darkness Return skill. But the issue is, it now lets you use Earth Dragons. And in my mind, that just lets you use Meta Gears, which is fine, because you don't need to print any new cards for that, right? You just... Meta Gears is now be able to be played. So I don't know. I don't think we need that. Yeah, I think that's fine. I don't think there's anything else crazy we need to put in. Did the last July box have any generic card? What do you mean by the last? Do you mean the box that came out last July? That would have been Flash of Shining Flare. This one. So the most generic card in here was probably Fusion Cancel. So URs, we had one for each of these 4 different decks. I mean, Striping Wyvern isn't... Elemental Circulation was in this box. Lightning Braver is generic, but it's ass. So... 50% random vanilla reprints from 2 years ago anyway. It's kind of... I mean, you're not wrong, actually. We haven't got any room for any of that crap. Because, like, look at this box. Look at all of this garbage that's just in here. Yeah, it really makes you think what... They're going to have to cut out a lot of the Sky Savior stuff, I think. And at that point, it comes down to which bosses are they going to cut out. I could see them cutting straight up Claymont, Quildes, and Chartres. I could see them just cutting all of these straight up. I think those are quite an easy cut. You don't really take too much away from the deck. And they don't necessarily play super well into the strategy anyway. But, moving on from that, I suppose, because there is, like, one other small thing I did want to talk about. So, I watched this video this morning, and this is by Team APS. And we're not going to watch the whole video, because, you know, if you want to check out the video, you should watch their own. But I want to watch a little bit from this video, and I want to talk to you guys about it, about, like, my opinion on it. So, this was the video.
Pokemon was born as
so, this is a video comparing Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh!
Gameplay-focused identity right out of the gate. That whole experience was centered on exploring, going on adventures, and having your own unique journey. Things like the anime, the trading cards, and all the merchandise were really just offshoots of that main video game foundation. Now, each of these parts eventually became giants in their own right, but I think a lot of Pokemon's success comes down to how stable the games are. We're basically 10 generations in, and you can still...
Okay, so what he's saying now makes sense to me, right?
We'll talk about this more in a bit, but yeah.
Pokemon
on the flip side,
was a video game first.
Life as a manga about all kinds of games, but it eventually narrowed its focus almost entirely to the trading card game. Since the TCG is basically the sun and the whole Yu-Gi-Oh universe revolves around it, it means the entire...
All right. So what he's saying here, this is the thing that I personally am like, do I agree with this or not? I kind of get this. In my mind, though, I don't know, for me, I would replace TCG in the middle here with anime. I think for me, the Yu-Gi-Oh franchise always was built around the show. But I don't know, maybe that's like an unpopular opinion. I think without the show, the card game doesn't take off. The card game is like nothing without the show. I think the card game would have probably been like around, but like would not have been anywhere near what it is. So like, I get for Pokemon right now, their big thing is the video games, right? It's not even like their biggest moneymaker, but it's like when you think about Pokemon as a franchise, you always think of the video game first. Like just the numbered, well not numbered, the mainline Pokemon games. Then you expand out, right? Then you think about the anime. Then you think about the trading card game. Then you think about like the plushies and the merchandise, right? For Yu-Gi-Oh, I still always think about the anime as the middle part. And then like the TCG is like, it's a close thing to that, but it's obviously like an offshoot of it. There is more Yu-Gi toys than Dark Magician. There is more Yu-Gi toys than Dark Magician after all. I don't know what that means if you've been watching stuff then. But like, for me, again, I just think this is a bit weird. I've never thought that the card game was the center of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, universe, or the center of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Like fandom. For me, it's always been the anime. So, I just found this as a bit like maybe my perspective is wrong. Yu-Gi toys than Dark Magician toys? I mean, I guess. It's just like, whenever I speak to someone about Yu-Gi-Oh! Almost always, they want to talk about, like, which anime character they like most. Which series they like the most. You know, oh, I watched Yu-Gi-Oh! As a kid. Very rarely, I think, does anyone actually say, like, oh, you know, are you playing TCG at the moment? What meta deck are you playing at tournaments? It's always, it's anime, right? I think, for me, that's the actual center point. If we're talking about Pokemon, it started off as a video game, and then, like, that's been its foundational pillar. For me, Yu-Gi-Oh! Started off as an anime. Like, obviously it started off as a manga, but, like, it got mainstream as the anime. And that's still the core central pillar. It's just, now we don't have an anime, and now that feels like shit, because we've lost our core central pillar. Like, I think there are less people caring about the TCG these days, except for the people that are already so deep in they can't stop, right? Cards are the center of the anime is the center of the franchise. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. It's like, exactly, it's like saying Pokemon is the monsters in Pokemon, the Pokemon, are the center of the game, or the center of the anime, the center of everything. But I would say the game is the most important pillar of Pokemon. Like, I think you could take away the Pokemon anime, Pokemon is still going to be completely fine. Because the video game is what people care about. The trading card game is still doing fine. You take away the anime from Yu-Gi-Oh! And now there's a lot of doomsaying, people saying Yu-Gi-Oh's dead. There's a lot of people saying, like, can the franchise really cope like this? Like, let's be honest, the franchise is doing quite well. I would say the Rush card game's doing quite well right now. The TCG is doing quite well. They've had, like, a couple of hits or misses with, like, some set releases. But I think tournament, like, participation has been quite high for the TCG, for Yu-Gi-Oh! Which I'm quite happy about. But I still feel like not having the anime there is, like, really holding Yu-Gi-Oh! Back. And I would really just, like, I want Yu-Gi-Oh! 9. I want Yu-Gi-Oh! 9 to come back. I think bring back Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime. It's such an important pillar for this franchise. And I think taking it away is unbelievably detrimental. Crack Theory, they fear Rush Duel Harpies so badly. They fear every print Muda's deck in physical Rush Duel. Giant Trunade on legs. That beautiful bird star striped eagle is. I don't know what that means. I don't remember who Muda is off the top of my head. Giant Trunade on legs. I don't know who we're talking about there as well. We have Yu-Gi-Oh! 9. It's called Chronicles. No, Chronicles is... I don't dislike Chronicles. But Chronicles is not a new Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime, right? It is an offshoot. It is a side story. It is a splinter. It is not the replacement for Yu-Gi-Oh! 9. Like, it's just so very mid. You don't like 4 episodes of Charmers or something? It's not even like the subject matter. For me, I just think, one, the way it's delivered is not great, right? Getting such short episodes so infrequently with such large gaps in between them is bad, right? That's already just a bad thing. Then, it's based on the card game lore, which is like, it's interesting, but it's not what I come here for. I come to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime to watch motherfuckers play trading card game. That's what I'm here for, right? I love the animes. I couldn't give a crap about Chronicles. Well, I like Chronicles, but to me, it's a nice, you know, it's the seasoning to the meal, right? It's nice. It's a side dish, right? It is not the main meat and potatoes, right? When I want the meat and potatoes, I want Yu-Gi-Oh! 9, right? I want characters, playing cards, going to tournaments, having stakes on the games, right? That's what I want. Protocol sucks. It can't be counted as anime. It is an anime, and I wouldn't say it sucks. I would say it's not anywhere near as good, and it has a lot of problems, but I don't know if I'd say like it actually sucks. I think it's actually fine. We need a new Rush anime, have crossovers of the franchise speed characters, having cameos, the protagonists of rituals and unions. I personally, I would really, and I've said this so many times, I want Yu-Gi-Oh! 9 to just be the OG characters, the DM characters. I want Yugi, Joey, Kaiba, Pegasus. I want all of these characters playing Rush duels. In the new, I don't know if you necessarily need to have it in the new Rush art style. You probably would. But the issue is, I think it would be really good on one hand, because suddenly everyone that watched DM, which, let's be honest, it's like Gen 1ers. Everyone's watched DM, everyone likes DM, right? You'd get all of those old heads back in, and you'd have the card game be a simpler version compared to what the current TCG is. So a lot of people would be like, oh, I can play Dark Magician, I can play Blue Eyes White Dragon, I can play Red Eyes, I could play Toons, because they could release Toons, right? You could do all of that cool shit, but I think there will be some people that see it as a slap in the face. I think there'll be some people that are being like, what do you mean you've taken my super dark, edgy show and Rushified it? And I think in a lot of ways, the writing wouldn't be as good as it was in DM. I think we'd get like Go Rush level writing and Go Rush level animation, which is still good, but it's just not the same vibe as the Master Rule series, right? Do you believe in the DM reboot conspiracy? I mean, I would like to do that. One thing I don't like, I really do not like the remasters. The DM remaster and the GX remaster are so garbage. Like, actual just garbage. I don't even know why we bothered spending money on that. It's so dumb. A brand new world, no relation to Sevens or Go Rush. I don't want any connections. So I will say, for me, when that guy showed up in Go Rush, it was really hype. Like, it was really hype. And it was like this really cool, like, sub-mystery going on as you watch the show, which I think was really cool. So I kind of like that there was a connection, but also I think it did detract a little bit away from what, like, Go Rush could have been. I didn't say it should have connections to the other Rush shows. I don't want any connections. As somebody said, having speed favorites have cameos in a Rush show. We already have time travel. Why not cross-dimension stuff again? So you're losing me again. I don't think we should lean into time travel or different dimensions. I think both of those things are what pushed people away during Arc 5. I think the dimension hopping stuff, people really didn't like that for the most part because it wasn't done very well. I think unless you're going to get like the top tier writers in to write a really engaging story with time travel or dimension hopping, I don't think it's worth. It just doesn't work. People just don't like it. Like, I mean, take a look at Marvel. Marvel tried to do the whole like dimension hopping thing now in their like multiverse, and everyone's bounced off it. No one likes it. I just don't think it's going to work overall. I think most people are kind of done with like multiverse and dimension hopping. I think you're better off just having it be a reboot, right? Multiverse and time travel are always bad and lazy. Hello, Mono. I don't think they are always bad and lazy. I think it is very easy to fuck it up and make it really boring. And again, like alienate the audience that just don't want that. So I think you could make it work. You could have time travel and dimension hopping in the show, but you'd have to like really nail it. Like you'd have to do really well. And I just don't know if I trust the Yu-Gi-Oh! Writers to do that. They would have to sideline most characters or make them one notes. Which, I mean, to be fair, they kind of did that in Sevens. Like, how many characters in Sevens are one note characters that show up, do once, and then you don't see them again for like 80 episodes? My favorite time travel media, Steins Gate. Steins Gate is really good, but I don't think Yu-Gi-Oh! In Steins Gate would work. I cannot agree more with Mono. Now, do you agree with Mono that Steins Gate is a great time travel anime? That's the question now, Hunter. This is very important. Depending on what you say, I might have to ban you. Well, I'd time you out. I wouldn't ban you. About Steins Gate. Okay, okay, that's fine. That's good then. That's good. Oh, things got tense there for a minute. Things did get tense there for a minute. But hello, Hunter. Welcome on in. Yeah, Steins Gate is great. For the most part, I think time travel worked to an extent in Go Rush because it was done one time and it was off screen, right? We had like the weird cat dimension thing, but that was a whole fever dream anyway, so I don't think it really matters. I think time travel worked in that because it was a thing that happened that wasn't really... Like, it was relevant to the plot, but the actual time travel itself kind of wasn't. It was more about the character being there from a different time period, right? And I think it did elevate it, because I think Yuga was a fantastic addition to that show. Hello, Isla. Finished class presentation day from hell. Well, that doesn't sound ideal. I hope everything went alright. But yeah, overall... I would just like, I want Yu-Gi-Oh! 9. I don't even mind what form it takes, right? As long as we get a new show, I would be happy with anything. And the longer we get without it, the more lenient I am to having bad ideas creep in. So like, obviously I want a Rush show, because I like Rush, right? I don't know if you guys have noticed, this channel, my YouTube channel, my Discord server, it's all Rush. I like Rush. I would like Rush, right? But if they did decide to do a Master Rule show, I would be happy with that as well. Now, the thing is, if they did another Master Rule show, what would you guys think about adding a new mechanic in? Like, do we think TCG needs a new mechanic? Like, did we think Pendulum was too far? Did we think Link was too far? Like, do you think they could do a show without a new mechanic? Like, I don't know. Series of Rush set just after the OG series ended would be cool. MC can run into some characters from the OG series as they pick up whispers of a new way to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And run into the new MC. I think one of the most... The thing I didn't like about Sevens was there was always this undertone that Go Hard duels were the proper way to play. And if you play Rush duels is just for kids, right? And I didn't like that was like baked into the anime itself. Because then that bleeds out, right? And then suddenly everyone else is like, okay, yeah, Rush duel is like... I get the whole point. Rush duel is meant to be a way for children to get back into the game. It is meant to be a simpler version of the game. That makes sense to me. By comparison to TCG, everything is so simple, right? But I don't like the idea of being like, TCG is the main way to play, Rush Duel is like an afterthought for kids. Like, to me, I've always kind of pushed back against that narrative, and I don't like that they were pushing that narrative in their own show. I think that felt bad. Because even if you're a kid, if you're a child, and you're trying to get into the show, and then the show's telling you that your version is like the bad version, and why would you want to play it? I don't know, it just doesn't seem like a good message. How is everyone? I'm doing alright, Isla. How are you doing? I do not think Advance can have a show. I mean, potentially. I accidentally took the bus to the wrong city, was super late, paid lots of money, was so stressed. Oh no. I've actually done that once as well. When I was a kid, I was traveling to... Where was I going? I think I was going to Reading or Poole. I was going somewhere. And I accidentally got... I didn't get off at the right stop for my train. And I ended up in Woking, which was like a completely different train station. And then I had to like navigate my way to like get back. And it was very traumatic for very young Tomato's brain. I think they should completely renew an old mechanic like Gemini or something like that. Right, level up, I could see. I do not see Gemini being an engaging mechanic to be like a new mainstay mechanic, personally. I could not see that as being like as like impactful as Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, Pendulum, Link, right? I love Link. Oh, bad internet. I think I like some of Link. I think the thing I really don't like, and I've said this before, but the thing I really dislike is the extra monster zone. I really don't like the EMZ. And the reason I don't like Link is because Link doesn't work without the EMZ. You would have to just like redesign like every Link card in order for them to function without the EMZ. I don't like that there's a 6th zone. I don't like the Link rule of you have to summon your first Link monster into a zone a Link arrow points to or into the EMZ. I just don't like that. But it's because of the way the mechanic was designed, there's no way to take it out now. Like, you can't take it out. It's like we found a way to keep pendulum zones in without keeping the extra card zones at the side. And that worked quite well, but you can't fix the EMZ now. Like, there's no way to do that. I've done it before, but with train instead. Yeah, exactly. I've done the same. I think I could pay less and be at least the same level as Kate, but my stress made the wrong choice, and to be fair, there was a chance at the time that my choice would be faster. I mean, that's fair, that's fair. Remove EMZ, add Judgment Arrows to all Link decks. I think that's what you'd have to do, in a weird way. You'd have to have, like, the only way for it to work... I just don't think it would work. I think the EMZ is just too baked into the game now. I don't think you can remove it, but I really don't like it. Like, in my ideal Yu-Gi-Oh!, the EMZ doesn't exist. And because of that, I think by extension, Links do not exist in their current form. But I don't think there's a way to, outside of, like we say, redesign the way that Links work, redesign where all the arrows are on every Link card. Like, I just don't think it functions. The only thing I really like about Link is, like, in terms of the EMZ, I think the, what's it called, Extra Link, what it's called? The thing where, like, you take both EMZs. I think that is a really cool mechanic that's really interesting. Outside of that, I don't like the EMZ just like at all. But, yeah. That's just my take. So, yeah, I think if we were to do Yu-Gi-Oh! 9 and it wasn't Rush, I could see level up being a mechanic, but I think you'd have to change it, right? I think you would have a new card, maybe like a red boarded card or something, right? And those would be your, like, leveled up cards. And I don't think you would call it level up. You'd call it, like, promotion, right? Or something. Where, like, you can summon out a guy, and then you can promote it into a higher level version of it. Which is basically it again, but bigger. And then you could also have, like, different branching pathways. So, like, one guy doesn't have to always, like, promote into the same guy. He could have, like, 3 different promotions, and then you could choose which one you go into. And then each of those could then also have, like, branching paths again, so you could make it really interesting and have a lot of, like, dynamic decisions that you could make with it. I think that would be really, really cool. But again, it's easy to say that. It's a lot harder to, like, design that, right? Yu-Gi-Oh! Digivolution? I mean, kind of. Like, unironically, I think it would work. Like, it's not even that far-fetched, because we already have Level Up, and Level Up is kind of that anyway. And we already have the ability to, like, modular fuse things. So, for example, Neos, depending on what you fuse it with, becomes something completely different, right? There's, like, 6 different versions. Evolution mechs in the cards on the field, plus card type from the hand or field, summon corresponding Evo from hand. I wouldn't want to summon it from hand. Oh, yeah, from extra. I don't know why I auto-corrected at the hand. But, yeah, I think that would work. I think it would be fun. I'm not sure we might even get a new anime, to be honest. I mean, yeah, we might never do it. It might just never happen, Hunter. But I want it. I think, and again, I could be wrong here. I'm more than willing to be wrong, even though I'd be sad about it. I think we could just not get a show. And then I think the card game will slowly die. And I don't mean like, oh, the card game can't exist for that show. I think without the extra hype that the anime brings, I think people will just slowly lose interest. And again, I don't think this will be a quick thing. I think this will take like 10, 15 years. But I think it will just slowly crawl towards death. Which I think would be sad. Because again, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a big part of my life. And I don't want it to like just disappear. But it is what it is. But with that said, we've kind of done everything I want to do today. So it's very early to be ending the stream. But I think now would be a good time to end the stream. I don't know if there's anyone to actually raid into. Is that Toti in the chat? I don't know how many TCG players you think watch the Rush anime anyways. Yeah, but it's not about the Rush anime. It's about just having an anime. I don't know. To be honest, look at Magic the Gathering doesn't have a show but keeps living. What you've done is you've hyperfixated on the fact that they are card games and not what makes them similar, right? So in the same way, Pokemon's core pillar of that franchise is the video games, right? It is the mainline series games. For Magic the Gathering, the main pillar of that is the card game. That has always been the only thing that Magic the Gathering has had. So as long as the card game exists, the card game exists, right? Yu-Gi-Oh, in my opinion, the main pillar of Yu-Gi-Oh has always been the anime. And the card game is that's like a split off of it. It's like if Pokemon stopped having the video games, I think the same thing would start to happen to Pokemon. I think the thing that would kill Pokemon, the only thing at this stage I think that could actually kill Pokemon, is if Pokemon stopped making mainline Pokemon games. I think that is what will kill it. Now again, it wouldn't kill it overnight. It would take many, many years, but I think it would eventually do it. But Uno doesn't have one either. Bam. Exactly. I think it depends on like what it is, right? There are just some franchises that are built on different core pillars, right? For some things that's going to be a show, for some things it's a video game, for some things that's the card game, for some things like Beyblade, right? Like, do you think Beyblade would have been anywhere near as popular without the show? It just wouldn't, right? And movies. Well, there you go, yeah. Time to move to competitive Uno. That's exactly what we need. But that is going to be me done. So I will be back tomorrow. We are 100%. I will fight people for the right to do my Zexal stream tomorrow. So we're going to be doing our Zexal stream tomorrow. That's what we're doing. There is another heatwave coming up for the UK, so I'll probably skip streaming on some of the heatwave days, because streaming in a heatwave, that's not good. That's not fun. That's awful. I don't like that. But we will be back tomorrow. We will be doing the Zexal watch along, and we will be back on Thursday to do something. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!